We have our staff finalized. You see the 3 assistant coaches are sitting here with me at the table, along with 3 non-coaching staff members. We finalized our staff last week. Anytime you take a new job, there's always a lot of excitement, and then you get settled into the job, and I think the biggest thing you can do is 2 things. Number 1, the players. Build relationships with the players as quickly and as fast as possible. And I think we've done a good job with that. We were able to keep 7 guys that came back. The second thing you have to do is build a staff. It's very challenging. There's a lot of hurdles. There's a lot of different things that go into building a staff. But I'm excited today to announce our staff. I'm extremely humbled that these guys here at the table with me have chosen to be a part of UTEP basketball. And I'm very excited to have them here. I think this is one of the best staffs in college basketball. We said that when we took the job. We came here to UTEP to compete for championships, and I think our staff speaks loudly about how serious we are about that. We have a lot of experience on our staff. We have guys that have been in college basketball for a long time. They've won at a very, very high level. They've recruited some of the best players in the country. And then we also, to the right of me, have a player that was just a little bit better than myself. We got some NBA experience on our staff, and I think the way the game is going, it's important. So just a little bit about each one of these guys. Jeremey Cox is going to be our associate head coach. He's some guy that I've known for a long time. We've been friends from afar. I've got a ton of respect for Jeremey and how he coaches the game of basketball. Everywhere that Coach Cox has been, he has won at a high level, including a national championship at Fort Smith in Arkansas in the junior college ranks. I've had a chance to compete against Jeremey the last 5 years in the Southland Conference, and just a ton of respect for him. He had the program SFA where he came from, but also him as a coach. 2 things on that too. Also, we share 2 mutual friendships, and Coach Gillespie and Coach Sadler, 2 guys that I think you guys would be familiar here in El Paso. Both those guys did a great job here at UTEP basketball. Jeremey understands what UTEP basketball is about. He grew up in Wyoming. He was a GA for 1 year at Wyoming. He understands the old WAC and the history and tradition of UTEP. So extremely excited to have him here. Butch Pierre to my left is a guy that I didn't know a ton about when I got the job. When I first got in the business, I used to look up to Coach Pierre. He was one of the best coaches in college basketball. He's known as being one of the best recruiters in college basketball, but I think he's also a hell of a coach. He's been around the game for a long time. He's competed in a Final Four. He's coached at the highest levels, and he's recruited the best players in the country. When we looked at the job here at El Paso, you guys know it better than me, but you can't just get in a car and take off and drive and see some of the best players in the country. You got to have a guy that can pick up the phone and get involved with players anywhere in the country, and Butch can do that for us. And so extremely grateful. It took a lot of convincing. He was on the beach in Destin, Florida. But we were able to convince him to come to the beautiful desert here in West Texas and be a part of our staff. So I'm excited to have Butch here, not only as a coach, but as a recruiter, but also somebody that has a ton of experience at all different levels, and some guy that I can lean on. Coach Boykins to the right of me here, I think it's self-explanatory, his career. He's always been a guy with a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. His career has never been the easy route. It's always been challenging and hard for him. He proved himself in Eastern Michigan at the highest level, including going to the NCAA tournament and beating Duke. He played here in the Sun Bowl Classic. He beat Texas Tech here in the Don Haskins Center, and then UTEP kicked his butt the next night. UTEP 1, Earl 0, man, right? So, but he understands the tradition and history of UTEP basketball. As I got to know Earl over the last 6 weeks, though, I was just incredibly I don't know what the word here, just impressed with how humble he is for a guy that played in the NBA as long as he did. He's exactly what I want on my staff, of people that build relationships with our players. Everybody in our locker room wants to go to the NBA, and Earl can tell them how to get to the NBA and the track to get to the NBA. And if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, it's easier for him to say, you're not going to make it to the NBA if you continue to do this way than me. I wasn't an NBA player. So Earl gives us the validation on our staff of where a lot of the guys that we're recruiting and guys in our locker room today want to go.